Hello and welcome to Sunday's edition of Warder's Waffle. You can see it's a lovely bright day here at the moment, and sun's out, not raining, which is good. We've had a little bit of rain this week, but generally it's not too bad, but it's still way too wet to do anything with on this heavy land here. I'm going to be looking at one or two of these crops. You can see these wheats behind me here. Another one behind me here, not looking brilliant. And we've got this dike's just been mown out as well. This was done, I haven't got any footage of this because this was done when I was at the conference that you'll see in a few minutes. So yeah, in this update I went down to Kent. I was asked to talk at the Kent Agricultural Society conference a couple of days ago, which was great to meet a few people. So I've got a little bit of footage of that. We're looking at these crops and also two more things. I've got a dentist appointment this afternoon, and I'll see if I can get one or two clips from that, because I'm going in a chair. I'm having a very big filling done, or a tooth taken away and a filling put in its place, a white filling put in its place. So I'll see if I can get some clips from that. And also, I don't know whether you've seen on social media about the TB situation in Wales. That's tuberculosis, bovine tuberculosis to be exact, with the cattle situation. They don't have a culling system in place in Wales, whereas they do have in England, and it's made a massive difference in England. There's a 50% drop in infected cattle through the culling process of badgers. It's badgers that are causing the problem. And there was a farmer on social media, Richard. This was his clip. I'm going to show you his video. I've asked him permission to show you it. You can see how emotional it is and what they go through when they have TB and when they're having the checks done on the farm. Anyway, this is the clip.
Don't put a lot on with the video, so I'm going to make one. If I look a fool, I don't care, but there's a lot of talk in the industry now, especially dairy, about TB and TB eradication. We've just had the valuer here half an hour ago for the ones that didn't pass the gamma test before Christmas. To be fair, the valuer is okay. He's only doing his job, but my argument is all the time is we don't want to sell the animals. You know, they're in peak milk production. Who is going to compensate us for the loss of production? There'll be 15 cows gone. It's over £20,000 off the bottom line in the next 180 days if they were here till they were drying off, basically. Obviously we have to bear the cost of that going forward, with the milk price as it is. Compared to last year, we could stick a little bit last year because the milk price was good. You know, we couldn't argue. This year's a different story. The haulier is picking the cows up in the next hour. I've said to the missus, I'm going from here. I don't want to see fit, healthy animals going on the wagon. It breaks my bloody heart, to be honest. One of my favourites is going. And APHA have said they won't give me a licence to replace what we've lost until the next short interval test, which is 60 days. But even if we fail that test in 60 days, they'll still give us a licence. So what is the difference of giving us a licence now for me to replace what we're losing, to carry on with basically the same cash flow coming in? It doesn't make any sense. We can fail the next test and still get a licence, but they won't give us a licence now. People sat behind desks and not on the ground. I know rules are rules, but it's It's a stupid rule. I'll try and make a short video of the cows before they go, but something needs to be done. There'll be a lot of farmers packing the job in because of red tape. Just a ball ache. I'm pissed off today.
So you can see that's a really emotional situation for him to be in, and thank you for allowing me to post that, Richard. I think it's just heartbreaking when you see the stress and the turmoil that farmers go through, because the Welsh government just won't recognise the problem that badgers are causing. You can't vaccinate against them because the vaccination that's used interacts with the TB test, so you can't vaccinate against them. You can't vaccinate the cattle, and trying to catch up badgers and vaccinate, obviously that's not feasible. So it's just a huge problem. So you can just see the stress and the turmoil that farmers go through, and this little still shot I've got just shows the benefit of how the culling thing is working in this country, and you can just see from this there's a massive reduction from it. But the Welsh government just don't seem to realise that it has a huge impact, and this is the culling does work. Anyway, that's it for now. Let's crack on with the rest of this week's update, and thanks for watching that, and thank you, Richard, for allowing me to post it. So it's Wednesday evening, and I've just got to the Kent Agricultural Society, whether this is the Kent Showground, I think it is. This is the conference I'm talking at tonight. Just been picked up from the station, missed the first train from King's Cross to Strood, and anyway, caught the next one, so I've got here in time. So quite a lot of people here, which is great, so we'll go in and have a word with a few people. I've got a presentation put together about food supply, direct drilling, cover crops, all sorts of things, various topics I'm talking about, and we'll have a good night hopefully, and then I think there's a meal afterwards. So here we are into the conference area. I don't know what the building is here. A lot of people in here, which is great. So this is where, oh look at this, fantastic. Brilliant, so it should be a good couple of hours.
Far away, sir. There's a microphone coming too. Have you guys got a microphone, is it?
Yeah, there's one here.
So Andrew touched on your farm.
So that's my trip to the southeast nearly over. I've just arrived back at London. This is St Pancras. The Eurostar actually is just next door. That's the train to Paris, which I've been on a few times. Anyway, I've just arrived back in London here, just about to catch the train from King's Cross back to Newark. Had a great time. Thanks very much for the Kent Agricultural Society and Sally for asking me to speak. Met some great people last night, had some great questions. Thanks also to Joe for picking me up from the station at Maidstone West, I think it was. So had a great time, now heading back to Newark. So regular viewers remember we put this pipe in probably a couple of years ago nearly now, a year and a half ago now, 1.5 metre diameter pipe on this big drain. This is the other end of the drain to where Barry's going to be doing out, which is just near that hedge there starts. Actually, you can see him on the planings heap just there, loosening some more planings. But this wheat doesn't look brilliant. Looks all right when you look across the distance, but you can see all this corner was flooded. And this is the trouble with a lot of the wheats now. They're all just showing, they're starting to green up a bit, and with the sun on them always makes them look better. But you can just see the bare patches, and there'll be a lot of fields with bare patches that just aren't going to yield very well and reach their potential. Got another one there. You can look at that. Lots of patches across it. So, and the same with this one. This one here was the one we had sugar beet this last year on the heavier ground, but it's not a very heavy field, this one. It's a nice field, but it was lifted end of September, but when you look at it, it just doesn't look very good. You see down there the headland, as we call them, which is the outsides of the field. So yeah, non-farming folk who watch this, whenever I say the headland, that's what we call the outside of the field, so the area we turn on with the sprayer and all the machinery, and it's usually about one sprayer's width. And our sprayer is 32 metres wide, so that's 16 metres from there to the edge of the field, 16 metres. So you go from there to the edge 16 metres, and that's what we'd refer to as the headland, is around the outside of the field. You can see there, this patch here, not looking brilliant. Get some nitrogen on, some of these will improve, but the trouble is some of these patches are so difficult to judge what to do with because they're in the middle of a field, they're small, and you can't sort of pull them up and put another crop in a patch because it will ripen differently, it'll need spraying differently and fertilising differently. Anyway, looking at this drain, done a really good job getting this mown out like this, and this water carries on down here, right down past my discovery, right down to the trees at the bottom, joins into the River Brant, and then that joins into the River Witham right across there towards Lincoln. Actually, I just wanted to have a word about this drain. I can see some people, when they see image of this like this here, they'll say, oh, it's devoid of nature, no wildlife, ruining the environment. But we are here to produce food in conjunction with looking after the environment. It's the main beck, as it's called, and it carries water from neighbours' farms, from the A17, from Leadenham Village in the distance, and we have to get water away from this land and drain it and get it out into the rivers and out to sea. Lincolnshire is not like a lot of other counties, it's flat, very low lying, not a lot of fall in these rivers to the sea. So when people say we need to hold the flow and stem the flow, yes, that's right in upland areas, but in Lincolnshire, when a third of the county is below sea level, we need to get the water away, and it needs managing, and these waterways need managing, and that is what we're doing here. We have a lot of grey partridges about, as you've seen, so these wildflower margins we've got along the edge here, when they're grown up in the summer, they're absolutely full of wildlife and insects, and lots of shelter as well. So that debris on the edge of the field there, that's from inside the river here, or this beck that Barry cleaned out last November time it would be, so it's been done a while ago, and you can just see gaps in the field through there, not looking brilliant. When I say gaps in the field, I mean gaps in the cropping. You can see the soil's bare. So I've just walked along the beck to where Barry's going to start doing this out in the next week or two. There he is, just getting some more planings pulled down, because they've set really hard, and we are selling these at the minute, so if anybody wants some, we've still got plenty spare. We've got this heap here we're getting through, and then there's a heap on another beet pad across the other side of the farm. So we've had this bank all mown this side, so when Barry comes with the excavator, he can see what he's doing more. And we've got to take all that opposite bank, those trees and bushes out, because they're down in the water line down there, and it's not been done for years, this hasn't, so we really need to set about this, do it properly. All these little banks and twists don't do the job any favours, because it pushes the water onto the opposite bank. You can see here by the debris above Nala there how high it's been. And these tight corners here, they just push the corner into water into the opposite bank and cause the banks to collapse. This is what's happened a bit further up. And bank slipping where Frankie is. Look there, look, that bank's gone right down there. There's lots of slips along here, but all this lot has just all slipped in there. Actually, it slipped in right from back there. You can just see here how it's dropped in, and it needs pulling back, but we'll have to slope it right back a long way. There's a drain there coming out, water coming out there. This needs repairing here, and a longer pipe putting out into the back here. Looks like that's been buried. I've just come up to the heath. You can see we've got the beet pad here already now from the bales that collapsed down that side when we were loading beet out. When was it now? A couple of weeks ago. Just going to go and have a look in this field here, because the frost last week has damaged some of the beet in some places. So I'm just going to go and dig a root up and just see how deep the frost is in the sugar beet, in the top of the in the crown of the sugar beet. So when you look now at the beet, you can see the top's gone to what it was, nowhere near as much top as there was. Let's just go up here off the edge of the field, just zoom out a bit, there we go. So when you look at the beet now, you just see how the leaves have all wizened away at the side here. Frost got to it there, and the tops have gone down to what they were. This is an overlay of this field in the summer when the tops were at the most. So you can see now, when you look at the sugar beet now compared to what it was in the summer, big difference. So we'll just get some of these roots up and chop the tops off and see what they're like. So I've just loosened that one with the fork. We'll just pull that up. It's a bit fangy, that one. It's on the headland, so it's not got a nice tap root to it, but looking at it, it's not damaged much at all. I might need 2 hands to cut this. I haven't got a proper knife with me. We can see that's nice and sugary there. There's no frost damage in the top of that. Just put the sun in it. It'd have been a lot different to that. I will find some ones to get lifting. There will be some with frost damage on, but that first one's quite good. So it looks like we're all right with this field. What happens with sugar beet when it's frosted, the crown of the sugar beet goes all black, and they can't process it the same if it thaws out. So any sugar beet that's got frosted, what they like to do is it's harvested and then it's taken into the factory straight away. But if it's really badly frosted, they can't process it. A few years ago we did have a lot of beet. We had 50 acres of beet got written off because it just rotted in the field because of the huge frost. So, but this one's all right, so we can lift this and put it on the concrete and store it for a week or so before it goes in the factory.
Nice deep breath, well done. Thumbs up if you're okay?
Mm-hmm.
Are you breathing?
I'm all numb this side, but thanks to Christian and Emma's expert care, I've come out the other side.
Well, you know.
Yeah, so thank you. Yeah,
Most welcome.
coming back for a crown in a few months' time when I can talk. I've had a few of you ask how are the floods out the other side of Lincoln on Henry's Land. Well, I've just come with Rhonda. It's Saturday lunchtime. We're on our way to the football to see Lincoln City play Peterborough in a minute, and these are the floods behind me. Gone down an awful lot. This is the screenshot of what they were like when they were first here, and you can just see how bad they were. And then this is what it's like now. So I'll just turn the camera around so you can see. So that's the Tyrwhitt Arms pub at Short Ferry, just east of Lincoln. This is the Barlings River. You can see where it was, right up to within a foot of the top of the bank, and it is still pumping out. A lot slower now though, a lot slower. They've moved the generator and pumps and everything a bit lower down onto the road. The other generator that was underwater's gone. So we're going to have a walk down here and we'll look at the bank that has collapsed further up there where all this water's come from. Fence is just sticking out the top of the water, but the road's free now. I think they're going to be opening this next week. You can see the road's completely clear now. But when you just look up there at those telegraph poles with those yellow marks on, and then this is what it was like when it was at its deepest now. Huge difference. There's Henry's farm. Still a lot of water under here. There's still probably, what, there'll be 1.5 meters of water here. You can see the river right down now. That's the Environment Agency maintenance building. I think it is our pumping station. I'm not quite sure what it is, but they've got a lot of equipment in there. So still a lot of water here. You've got the fence poking out the top of the water there. We're halfway along to where the hole in the bank is, which is just there, you can see. Another part of the bank's collapsing here. This was leaking quite some time, a few weeks ago. One thing is noticeable on the riverside here. So this has been underwater for so long. But really, when you look here, prime example here, this is the bank comes down there, and then from that point down there is all flat. That should all be taken out. That was areas that will hold water and carry water. You've got bushes there growing out. That again is a prime example. All this should be taken out so it holds more water and speeds the flow up to sea, out to sea. So we're just approaching the hole in the bank now, which you'll see there. But again, just look at this, the amount of debris.
And the build up behind that.
Yeah,
Look at
I'm
it.
just pointing out.
Look at that.
All that, those reeds, all those tall plants shouldn't be there, and all the debris there. Huge amount of rubbish.
Really narrowed the channel.
It has narrowed the channel, and you can actually see there, look, there's no depth to it. Look at that flowing just there. There's no depth to it there. Crikey. This is where the riverbanks collapse.
So if you rebuild this and do nothing about that,
Yeah.
you're wasting your money because you're still putting pressure on this.
Let's just get down here and we can have a... Now the water's gone down in this river, let's just come around this side a bit. Just have a look. But this isn't just one spot here. The whole of this bank's gone round here, and there's numerous areas like it around the country or around the county, around Lincolnshire especially. So if we get some more heavy rain, as soon as that river rises, it'll be straight back out into Henry's Fields again. There's no stability to this bank at all. You can just see here how it's all collapsing here. All the way around here. It's in a terrible state, this bank is. Now we have another bush right in the water channel. Terrible state around here, all these rivers. It was drilled with wheat underneath here, so seed, fertiliser, plant protection products or chemicals gone on. Nothing back, you can't insure for it. And I think all you can apply for is the flood recovery grant, and you'll get a maximum of £25,000, which is a drop in the ocean to what Henry's lost here. Just talking about the flood recovery fund and the £25,000 or up to £25,000 that's available to farmers, that obviously won't eat into the loss of income that he and all the other farmers will suffer through this next year, because they won't be able to get a harvest off this crop for this next year off this area of land. And there's thousands of other farms, or hundreds of other farmers like it, dotted around the country where the floods are bad. But also homeowners can, I think, get up to £5,000 towards their houses as well, which obviously all that is welcome as well. So the government actually giving this out is really hugely appreciated, because it wasn't on offer earlier on, I think in October when the first storms hit. So that's it for another Sunday edition of Wardy's Waffle. Thanks very much for watching. I hope you're okay with the clip I showed at the start, but I thought it needed to be shown what Rich is going through with his TB and what every farmer in Wales goes through. And I hope it just puts into perspective now the situation with the disease in Wales and also in England, but we are better in England because of the culling. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Please click like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you midweek.